Star Wars The Last Jedi is set to be released next December, and fans are eagerly waiting for what Rian Johnson will put Rey, Finn and Poe through. And for that same reason, let's take a closer look at what the George Lucas magnum opus has brought outside of the big screen. For this installment, let's take a closer look to the animated series that came out of Star Wars. Star Wars Droids was released in 1985 by ABC, and it was the first animated series to be developed. It took place between episodes 3 and 4, and it followed the misadventures of fan-favorite androids C-3PO and R2-D2 as they travel across the galaxy and run into several masters. It only lasted one season, but it wasn't the only animated series to debut in those same years. In fact, the furry creatures that George Lucas presented in Return of the Jedi got their own set of misadventures, also developed by ABC. Star Wars Ewoks centered on several tribes of Ewoks and their efforts to stop the Empire's advances. These two animated series were met with some disdain from the audience and critics alike, deviating from the essence that made the main Star Wars line an iconic franchise. Fortunately, they have become non-canonical. Star Wars Clone Wars. Coming from the mind of Genndy Tartakovsky, the man behind the hit animated series Samurai Jack and the Hotel Transylvania, this Cartoon Network served mainly as a tie-in of the main Star Wars timeline, building a bridge between episodes 2 and 3. As it was just a tie-in with plenty of adventures around, everyone knew back then that the series would have a very short lifespan. Still, the artistic element and voice acting allow the series to leave its mark. Much like Droids and Ewoks, it would later turn non-canonical. Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars The Clone Wars wouldn't be the last time Filoni would work on a Star Wars project. In 2013, Star Wars Rebels was released, this time as a Disney series. Set between episodes 3 and 4, the series followed a ragtag group of rebels trying to make a last stand against the Empire.
Mandalore's under complete lockdown.
While not as good as the Clone Wars, Rebels was still a marvel to behold, with a complex array of characters who don't feel boring. It also made good use of the Star Wars story, rescuing characters from the previous series like Ahsoka, Rex and Saw Gerrera, to name a few, and bringing Darth Vader as the main antagonist of its second season. But the stroke of genius of the series came in the form of rescuing some of non-canon events and characters and repurpose them for the new canon. One good example of this is Grand Admiral Thrawn, who seems like a carbon copy of his non-canonical self. Sadly, Star Wars Rebels is already coming to an end next year. Star Wars The Forces of Destiny. In a simpler format, Star Wars Forces of Destiny can be found on YouTube. It consists of a collection of short tales that put the spotlight on the many women of the franchise. Artistically, it is a web series appealing to both young and adult audiences. And the cherry on top? Some of the actresses that portray those characters in both the big and small screen reprise their roles. Star Wars also got to create a series of spin-offs with the collaboration of the Danish company LEGO, which led to the LEGO Star Wars franchise. Some of them are basically retellings of the previous movies, only with a strong emphasis on humor and LEGO physics, which made them a must-go for children all around the world.
Oh, and what about that death brick? I'm sure it wasn't all that important anyway.
Do you watch any of these series? Which one is your favourite? Which one is your least favourite? Leave us a comment below with your thoughts. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get all notifications of your news from CineAddiction. And remember, be addicted.